Back home for one against Patrick Roy's rock-solid New York crew. We get you set for the Oilers and the Islanders right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Tom Gazzola with you inside the satellite studios, a.k.a. my kitchen, because Belle, who is our game analyst, is en route right now. Benny Thomson back at EST Global HQ. I apologize. My skates are in the corner. We had a alumni skate today. I didn't think that those would be in the shot. Benny, my bad. My bad. Okay. Of course, you can join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube as the 23-16-8 Oilers take on the 25-16-5 New York Islanders. And as we all know, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Benny Thomson, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. Great. This, usual day, getting some clips done and stuff. Seems like, the sickness, I haven't really heard anything about it today. So it seems like it seems like it's going through, it's better with you. Joaquin didn't seem like he had it today.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's getting better on the office, which is good. As of right now, still avoiding it. So let's hope it stays that way.
Good. I'll tell you what. I finished Twitter Mary's soup that she brought the other night. I finished it today. I had a little bit left. And then my mom had made me soup as well. And I fired that up a bit last night. And she had like the little, I can't remember what the noodles are called, but it's like my nonna used them for soup. She's like, I made this, put it into the soup, but warm up the broth first and throw it in. And I did the same thing with Mary's soup.
Yeah.
Molto bene. And it was very good. My voice it's a little bit, you can hear a little bit still. I was coughing up some stuff and getting it out of the system. But first time in a few days, like the head cold, like relief and no headaches or anything like that. And I'm very happy to hear that the crew back at the station is doing better as well. So patient zero will be sitting beside me shortly, although he will not admit it, and we'll be on our way. All right. So earlier down at the rink, we're going to get into lineups and everything, and we're going to get into the question of the night. But at the rink today, everybody was curious to see who would be starting in goal. It turned out to be Connor Ingram. Mm-hmm. And then we were wondering, too, is Andrew Mangiapane going to play, or are we finally going to see Curtis Lazar get back in there? And I shouldn't say finally, but I think we all were a little bit surprised that they played Mangiapane, put Howard back in, kept Lazar out, when Lazar has been effective fourth liner. Simple, right? And I know Reed's been throwing out the stat about how good the team is when loss record, when Lazar plays and when he doesn't play. And I think there's something to it, but at the same time, you don't want to overemphasize it. And I just think that if you want someone who can have somewhat of a positive impact in the bottom six, he's kind of been that guy, right? Mm-hmm. I was chuckling. We were chatting today. It was good to see Laser and making jokes. And McDavid had a big scrum going on, and he walks by me and he's like, geez, what does this guy think he is? And I was like, you still got it, Laser. You still got it. So he's going to be back in action, and that's going to be good to see. What do you think about this matchup going in tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited for, first of all, to see Schaefer play at home or in Rogers Place. To me, he's a guy that should have made that Olympic roster, in my opinion. And he's a big factor on why the Islanders have been kind of decent this year. It seems like they have a little bit more excitement around this roster now, which is cool to see. It seems like they're not the team that's stinking in New York, the red and blue. Over there.
Yeah. Not Broadway blue shirts.
Not doing great over there. But no. But yeah, so I'm excited to see him play. But I'm also excited to see just what kind of effort we get from this Oilers team. The homestand doesn't start tonight, but after this Saturday game against Vancouver, they have an 8-game homestand, man. Like this is some key opportunities here to bank in some points, chase first place in the Pacific Division, and starts tonight with the New York Islanders.
Islanders sitting second in the Metro Division, 6-3-1 in their last 10 on the road. 11-8-3 is the record. They are coming off a loss to Winnipeg the other night. 5-4 was the final there. Of course, Edmonton dropping that 4-3 decision to the Nashville Predators. We had a great time at Boston Pizza Clareview. Thank you to everybody who showed up on Tuesday night. We are at Boston Pizza, 170th. On Saturday for the Oilers and the Canucks. Text us 780-218-9999. We're going to get to Benny's question of the night right away here. And Jack from Cincinnati says, who's the best player at these alumni skates currently? It depends who's there. Like today, for example, the former NHLers that were there, Ryan Bast, who played a little bit with Philly. You had Tyler Wyman, who played goalie for the Avalanche, but does not play goalie. Jeff Drouin Delorier was in net. He was probably the best player there. If you just want to look at overall, Chris Dingman's usually there. Belzy was supposed to be there. He bailed and couldn't make it. Who else is always? Johnny Boychuk. Johnny Boychuk was at the rink, but he's working tonight. He works for the Islanders, so he was busy. And then he was telling me they were trying to get him down for Chara's retirement night, or the jersey retirement night in Boston. But there's so many things happening today that he couldn't make it happen. Who else comes out to those? Ben Scrivens comes out, and Matt Cassian comes out sometimes. And it just works out nice because I live right across the street and get to skate with the guys. Kevin Carius is there, KK. Representing the media alongside myself, and it's always a lot of fun. Paxton Schulte was a really good AHL player, and I think he played a little bit for the Calgary Flames and the Quebec Nordiques, if I'm not mistaken. There's a good mix of guys in there, and always a lot of fun. Nick Johnson played for Columbus a little bit. So yeah, there's a ton of great players, and Chris Joseph, sometimes when he can make it out, he's not coaching, is out there. So I think that's a great question, Jack from Cincinnati. A lot of good players, and the Oilers alumni do a very good job of welcoming guys in from other NHL teams as well. And Sparky Kolchiski looks after a lot of it. Aaron, Brienne from OEG, and Patrick Garland do a great job as well. So it's a lot of fun. And if I didn't live across the street, I wouldn't be getting invited. Trust me. They don't need a plug like me out there. All right, let's get to the question of the night with Ben Thomson as we await for our analyst, Shawn Belle, to arrive at the satellite studio. And then, by the way, we'll have Shannon Hogan on. She's the Rinkside reporter and host of the MSG Network's broadcast for the Islanders. She's fantastic. I caught up with her earlier at the rink. We're going to hear from her in a little bit. Benny, take it away.
Question of the night tonight. This has me wondering a little bit the goalie map, the goalie distribution you're going to want to have over the next little while, right? Jari is your starter, but we'll probably run Knobloch later, and he mentions that they would usually go back to Jari tonight, but they're wanting to make sure he gets his proper rest because he's coming off an injury. Over the next 10 games, so Ingram's already got one tonight. The Vancouver game on Saturday, then your 8-game homestand. What's your split with Jari and Ingram? Assuming Ingram is your backup goalie, because I think as with the sample size we've gotten, he's the better goalie than Calvin Pickard as of right now.
Yeah.
So what's your split? Let us know.
It's interesting right now. Yeah, I want to hear what people think should be the right split. And Chris Knobloch said it today when we were in the Hall of Fame room for his availability. He said that they are not too sure what the game plan is. I'm sure there is some semblance of an idea, but he played a little bit coy, but there sounded some sincere sentiment behind what he was saying. But and then I was asking a bunch of people around the team about that the last few days, and they kind of said the same thing, which, listen, that could be the line that they want to go with if anybody asks, and that's totally smart on their part. Like, they might be figuring it out, or they have an idea of a plan going forward. I don't know if they're really at the whim of this Sunday thing. We've been talking about it. especially with Henrique being out and him being on LTIR. Maybe there's a little bit more wiggle room. And then the other thing that was interesting is Knobloch talked about Jari. He could have started tonight, and that would have been usually the case if it was a 2-goalie rotation. But they've got these 3 guys here, may as well put them to use, and that they feel like there's no rush to figure it out. So we'll see how that all plays out. Honestly, Benny, if you want to ease Jari back in, go 1-1-1, 1-1-1, and only do it for a small window of time.
To the Olympic break, do you think? Or even shorter?
Maybe even shorter. Don't drag this on.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you need to let Jari get completely comfortable. Don't drag it on. That's how I look at it.
Gagers said on this show and on his show, and 3-goalie rotation sucks. Me, for goalies, they're counting reps and practice and stuff, and they're having to swap it. It's just annoying, right? And
that happened today at practice.
Yeah, right. And I just imagine for mainly Ingram and Pickard, just make a decision. I understand Ingram's. If they decide to send him down for the waiver exemption, all that, I'm sure he's liking his paydays with being in the NHL right now. But to me, you make a decision between the 3, the 2 mainly with Pickard and Ingram, and you go from there, right? And to me, with the past couple of weeks, how Ingram has played, how Pickard has played, I believe Ingram is the better goalie. I believe he is, and I think there's a lot of people that agree that he is the better goalie. He has the higher upside. Those AHL numbers don't look great, but
no,
you can't. I feel like you can't really use that against him right now since he's been in the NHL. You can erase those AHL numbers. Okay, it's been in big enough sample size now in the NHL. Okay, what are his numbers? How does he look? And he's looked pretty damn good for pretty much every game. The only game that I kind of scratch my head about is the Boston one on New Year's Eve, but. I think if they're gonna have to make a tough decision eventually. There's no way they run 3 goalies for the rest of the year. And if they do make that decision, I'd imagine it's losing a loved guy in the room in Calvin Pickard. But who knows? Maybe he doesn't get claimed or whatever. But I guess we'll see.
Let us know your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat as well. Before we go over the lines, this text comes in from Justin, says, Tommy, is Dusty calling the game for the Islanders tonight? I wish he was. From what I've been told, he's not, but crazier things have happened. He was on call. He was ready to go. If you didn't catch it, Brendan Burke, who does the Islanders play-by-play for MSG Networks, does TNT games as well. He was in St. Louis last night. Had to get his route to Edmonton was St. Louis to Toronto, Toronto to Edmonton. Huge snowstorm in Toronto. And I was talking with Andrew Peard, Oilers PR. We were talking about Dusty getting the call for the Islanders tonight. We were like, I hope he gets it. He was on standby. He was prepping like he was going to do it. And I was just texting with Dusty a little bit ago, and he didn't sound like he was too optimistic. And he was chatting with people from Shannon and trying to see what was going on. And sounds like Berkey might have gotten in. So that would have been awesome. Hey? How many people, Benny, do you think would have been looking for that broadcast?
I was going to say, I'm like, you got to, I don't know if you can access that broadcast here.
There's ways.
I was about to say you'd have to go through some sketchy ways to get there, but but
alternative methods.
Resources. Yeah,
yes,
sure.
That's right.
That's how I watched football this weekend.
Alternative methods.
Yes.
Right.
I mean. I feel like I would have done that in the office. I would have connected my computer or something. I got to hear Dusty on the call. It would have been funny. But that'd be cool. That would be cool to see Dusty get the call. But obviously, it's probably best for their main guy to be calling the game tonight.
He would crush it.
Mm-hmm.
He would be excellent. He is more than good enough to be an NHL play-by-play guy. He does a tremendous job on CFL broadcasts. He's a pro's pro. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if teams are already calling him. I'm pretty sure I know some teams have already sniffed around with Dusty because he's that damn good. So
imagine if he got the call. Imagine he got the call and that took off his NHL play-by-play career, and all of a sudden it's like now we lose Dusty at Edmonton Sports Talk because he took over a game. I'm kidding, obviously, but
that would be a very big ouch.
Yeah, yes, but he's good. He's definitely good enough to do it.
He's so good. Nolan from St. Albert says Dusty deserves to call NHL games for sure. That'd be so awesome. He's an elite CFL commentator, in my opinion. Nolan, amen, brother. And then Justin said he popped by the office today and he was nervous as he could be. And you know what? Dusty and I talked on the phone and I was like, he said that to me. I'm like, that's a good thing, right? That's a good nerve to have that nerve and be a little bit with the butterflies. Like that's a good thing. And as soon as those lights go on and it says you're on, boom, you just do your thing and you get back into your method and away you go. So he would have been awesome. And I haven't heard final words. So if I hear anything, I'll pass it along to everybody else. All right, let's go to the starting lineups for tonight for the Oilers. Here's what we're anticipating with David, with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Hernan and I paid our dues. We paid our dues. Got the boys some Popeyes as well. Well done, Dusty. He won that bet against us. Roslovic with Howard and Savoy. Lazar with Janmark and Frederick. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Emberson. Stasny with Regula. Mangiapane, the healthy scratch tonight. As for the Islanders, here's what we're expecting from them. Matthew Barzal between Anders Lee and Anthony Duclair. Callum Ritchie with Jonathan Drouin and Emil Heineman. J.G. Pajot with Maxime Shabanov and Simon Holmstrom. Casey Cizikas with Kyle McLean and Mark Gatcomb. And then on defense, Matthew Schaefer. Very excited to see him tonight making his debut in Edmonton with the Islanders. Haven't seen him in Islanders colors here yet, so he'll do that tonight. Ryan Pulock will be paired up with him. Adam Pelech with Tony DeAngelo. Adam Boqvist with Scott Mayfield. Expected scratches, Maxime Siplakov, Cole McWard, and that it looks like who will be out for the Isles. Your starting goalies tonight, it will be Connor Ingram for the Edmonton Oilers, the 28-year-old, putting together a nice little run here. He is 4-2-1 with the 270 GAA, 904 save percentage in 7 games so far this season. His lifetime record versus the Islanders, just 3 appearances, 1 win, 2 losses, and a 365 goals against average, 878 save percentage. At the other end of the rink, 30-year-old Ilya Sorokin, 14-11-2, 257 GAA, 911 save percentage in 27 games this season. One of the better ones in the National Hockey League. I think he belongs in that elite category, Benny, wouldn't you say, Sorokin?
Yeah. I mean, had a little bit of a rough start this year, but I think it's turned around a little bit for him. I watched the game against the Jets, like just a 10-minute highlight pack. He did not look great. But when he's playing his best, he's absolutely one of the more elite goalies. And I think Oilers fans were banging the Sorokin drum for him to come here for a while when they were searching for a goalie.
Yeah, I understand why, but guess what? The Islanders like him too, and need him very much. His record versus Edmonton, 3-3-2, 235 goals against average, 932 save percentage, 1 shutout in 8 games versus the Oil over the course of his career. That takes us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I could use a little bit of love on the knee right now. She's a little tender. First skate in about a week, but that was a faster paced skate than I'm used to. And if I really needed to, I'd call the crew over at Advantage Sport Medicine at Physiotherapy. For the Oilers, Adam Henrique, LTIR, undisclosed. For the Rangers, Bo Horvat, lower body. That's a big one. Kyle Palmieri, IR knee. Remember he made that play after busting up his knee, and then he set up a goal as he's making his way to the bench. Epic.
Yes.
Gutsy. That is so impressive. Alexander Romanov, IR shoulder, taken out by Mikko Rantanen. Remember when Rantanen was gooning it up for those few games? Romanov was one of the victims. Pierre Engvall, IR ankle, and Semyon Varlamov, IR knee. All right. We're going to get Bellsy's updating us. He's almost here. We have a couple things we can do in the meantime. as that was the Advanced Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report for tonight's game. So what we can do and what we think we're going to do, Benny, is I'm going to get to this question. I'm curious to know what you think. Flem says thoughts on sending Ingram down before he has to clear waivers so he can play over the Olympic break. I have nothing against that at all. I mean, it's a tool that they have at their disposal if they want to use it. I don't know if they do necessarily. If they want to and end up using it, I get it. I think it would frustrate some fans, though. But I don't know how much of it is, well, we got to appease the fans with our goalies here, or what's best? How do we maintain all three assets without having to deal with waivers and potentially losing them? And then the other thing too, Benny, what about the Flyers all of a sudden needing some goalies?
Yep. I mean, right? that's a team. I mean, we've highlighted, I think, Carolina, Ottawa. They're trusting James Reimer and I can't pronounce the guy's Finnish.
Was it Mads Soderberg?
No, Mads Sogard. I'm pretty sure he's in, and there's another guy, Lymanen or something like that.
Younger guy.
Yeah. To me, I would think a guy, one of Ingram or Pickard's an upgrade over those guys. So you gotta be mindful of the waiver wire.
Very fair.
I don't mind that idea at all of sending Ingram down to play over the break. He's a guy that didn't play a lot of hockey before he signed here. He took a break from the NHL. Got the help he needed, and that's great. But I wonder what pretty much a month-long break would do for a goalie in his instance. Just kind of getting back in the swing of things of playing regular hockey games. So I would be in favor of sending him down. And that way, like, everyone chants in this market, asset management. And I mean, I can't imagine what the tweets would be like if they just send Ingram when he is past his waiver exemption and he gets claimed and everyone's, waste of assets. There we go.
But that is poor asset management if that ended up happening.
And I don't think it will. I would be agreeing with them. The Raphael Lavoie stuff, when that was all going down, I was like, okay, guys, that's like, he's not as valuable as you think he is. That's a good point. This would be Connor Ingram, if you were to just throw him on waiver just because you felt like capping him up a week later than what do you want it. He's an asset, and you need to make sure you hold on to that asset before you have to make a big decision. So yeah, I would say, if you want to set him down, get him playing over the break. I'm all for it. Get him playing, keep him warm. I would just think that if you return from the Olympic break, you'd probably want your at least your second best goalie. I mean, he might be number one before you know it in the minors. I don't know if you want that in that situation. So you probably have to call him up, and then you're gonna have to make your decision anyway. So I'm in favor for sending him down.
See what they do.
Yeah.
They have all three of them up here, and they give off the sense that they're not in a rush, but they say one thing and they can do something completely different. We will find out. Let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. We're going to get to Shannon Hogan right away here. I want to read a text, Benny. It's from Cal in the Park. Cal says, hey, does that make Dusty an EBUB? Emergency backup broadcaster? Yes, Cal.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one. I like that. He is the EBUB, and probably an elite EBUB if you're asking any of us here at EST. That would have been awesome. And maybe something happened and Berkey didn't get in time, but it sounded like he was going to make it in to do the Islanders broadcast. All right. I had a chance to catch up. Brendan Burke's colleague at MSG Networks. She is fantastic. She's a lot of fun. She is Shannon Hogan from MSG Networks. Pleased to be joined by Shannon Hogan from MSG Networks as we get set for the Oilers and the Islanders. And I know we haven't seen the Islanders for a long time, but we got to talk about something first. It's warm here, very windy today. What are we doing? The fur. Yeah, you told me there's a story. Our listeners and viewers love this stuff. What happened?
Okay, so this is actually my grandmother's fur from 1950, New York City.
Wonderful.
And the first year I covered the New York Islanders, we were on this Western road trip, and my mom goes, you're going to Canada. It's your first time to Canada. It's really cold there. You need to wear grandma's fur. And I remember coming on this road trip, and we had a good start to the game or good start to the trip. And we were on the charter at the time, and I would walk by the aisle, and the guys would all, rub the fur like it was good, it was good luck. And I remember like Grabowski being like, "I'm gonna steal this for my wife," and like his Russian accent.
Not surprised.
Yeah. So it was good luck on that road trip. Okay. And my mom and dad were actually going down to Florida for the winter. They live in Michigan, so like normally she would have it, and she goes, "You should take the fur." And I was like, "You know what? It's been a while." So the reason I'm wearing it in the rink is that on our 7-game road trip, I left all of my work clothes in the closet in Minnesota.
How? I've been on these road trips for years and years and years. You always do the last sweep/scan.
Okay, so I opened the wardrobe. One side had the hanging.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. I hadn't even been out the night before, to be fully clear.
Well,
I was,
thank you for answering my next question.
Yeah, I was sober. I did not go out the night before, and I had this massive suitcase. Massive. I mean, like, you could fit a body in it. So massive. And I get to Winnipeg, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no blazers, no tops. So I actually have this is my mob wife era now. I've got this underneath.
You've got a motif going here.
But I do have one black blazer, and it is currently at the dry cleaners here in Edmonton, and I will wear it tonight. So I will not be wearing the fur on air because this is the warmest it's ever been in Edmonton. It's glorious out.
Okay, so pregame, fabulous, and then into the game on the broadcast, you're going to be buckled down. Businesswoman. Yeah.
I'll have the black blazer. I'll be ready to go.
Fantastic.
That was a long, drawn-out story.
No, I loved it. And Johnny Boychuk's over there, and I know he could be a tease. He's an Edmonton boy. Did he do Shannon? I remember that fur coat.
Okay, so funny thing, he actually picked me up at the hotel yesterday. I'm friends with his parents, and I wanted to see his mom and dad, and they were not able to come to the game as mom has some health troubles right now. So he picks me up, and he's like, you do know it's a heat wave here.
Yes.
And I'm like, leave it alone. I've got one coat. Like, this is what I'm doing. But no, it was great to see them, and I love like the connections in hockey that you have. Johnny started with the Islanders. The trade came over from Boston the same year that I started covering the Islanders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the same year. And so there was just something about, continuing to go. And then he still, works in a capacity with the team. And so I see him, here and there. And his daughters were just outside the room. And I thought, oh my gosh, I remember when they were born and they just turned 12 and his son looks like a clone of him. So I'm fully prepared for all Johnny Boychuk chirps at all time.
He throws me into the glass when we play hockey together, and he chirped me on my way in today too. Yeah. So I guess
proud
that's a
Edmonton guy.
Yes,
if you're
MLAC.
from Edmonton, if you are from Edmonton, things I've learned in covering the NHL for 16 years, you have the best sense of humor. Anybody from Edmonton, this is a shout out to all the people in Edmonton, the best sense of humor. You guys are just so funny and happy.
Yep.
And I always appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate that. That's very nice. Okay. Our team from
now
Edmonton.
That he's blushing now.
A little bit. You're the best. That's why. Our team from Edmonton takes on the Islanders,
yes.
a team that you're with all the time. What's going on with the Isles right now? Because we haven't seen them since like mid-October.
Fun team to cover right now. It's a long road trip. I think that there's a lot of confidence around the team right now that maybe in years past we didn't have. And I think a lot of that stems from Matthew Schaefer, which is, we're going to talk about him, I'm sure, at length. But big picture with this team, they've had the adversity that other teams around the league. You've got injuries. You've got Bo Horvat out. You've got Ilya Sorokin that had been out for a while. Kyle Palmieri out for the season. I mean, there have been things along the way that normally you think would derail a team. And even if they kind of stumble or have a bad game, it feels like they're able to get back on track. And a big part of coming into this season, Patrick Waugh said, I want the guys to have fun. I want them to play with joy. Joy was the key word, and he said it over and over and over again that he really wanted them to realize how much of a privilege it is to play in this league and how much fun it is. And I know we understand, but it can be a grind as the season goes on. And I think what I've noticed is in games, like the last game, for example, in Winnipeg, even when they're down, they were down 3-0 at one point, he kind of huddled the guys on the bench. They had a conversation, and bing, bang, boom, 3 minutes later, they've scored 3, they've tied it up. Ultimately, they did not go on and win the game in Winnipeg. It was a high-scoring game, by the way. It was fluky. I was thinking it was going to be a goaltender battle, but it was not. But I think what it comes down to is this is a team that is resilient, and they are having fun while they're playing. And I think that's carried them through a lot of games.
It's crazy how a mindset can shift things for a team and a group like this. I know Matthew Darche has taken over as GM. Yeah. Have you noticed a bit of a difference the way he puts the team together, operates the team, compared to someone who's old school and Lou Lamoriello, who had a lot of success and kind of got organizations back on track? What would you say about Matthew Darche's effect on this group?
Well, first, a shout out to Lou. Always very good to me. Really a ton of respect for what he did, but anybody that's worked on a team knows he has a certain way of doing things, and we always respected that. We knew that. Matthew came on, and selfishly, we were back on the charter. I'm not going to lie, it's been life-changing for me.
What?
That is a selfish thing.
That's a get.
As a mom with 2 kids, you get like 26 extra days back. So I will forever be grateful to Matthew Darche for that one thing.
It's huge. Trust me.
But, I think for him, he's very transparent. He talks a lot. I think the guys, there's a looser vibe. I think that's just a combination of, that bringing new people in. And I think for Matthew, the biggest thing has been watching him also watch Matthew Schaefer. And I think it comes back to that is, I've talked to Darche about this, he knew he was going to be good. I don't think anybody knew he was going to be this good. Yeah. And so you really hit the lottery as a GM when you come in your first, head GM job and you get the first overall pick. And he's jokes about how it was not a hard decision. He knew, but I think it's been a lot of fun, and I think we're really just seeing the beginning of a really successful career.
It's good to see the Islanders back in a prominent position, second in the Metro, coming into action tonight. Okay, Matthew Schaefer tonight. And then Islanders.
I'm just checking. I'm just is anything going on that we're missing right now?
I'll get you back to watching right away. But Matthew Schaefer, people around here very excited to see, obviously. Connor McDavid's on an all-time heater right now. What do we need to know about the Islanders, and what kind of hockey game do you think we're in for, Shannon?
I think it's going to be another good game. I'm really excited. First of all, it's hard when you're an opposing team because you're okay, you come in and you're looking for your team to do well, but there is something, I know you guys understand how lucky you are to be able to watch Connor McDavid on a nightly basis, but your heart kind of does this jumpy thing when he gets the puck and he's headed towards the net. And ironically, that's the same thing that it does for a player like Matthew Schaefer or Matt Barzal.
Yes.
When they have an opportunity, the number of times we've seen Matthew Schaefer almost go end to end, it's that same excitement of it's a game changer, So I don't know. It's either going to be a barn burner, we're going to go back and forth, or we might see 2 goals tonight. I don't actually know.
I want goals.
I think, Ilya Sorokin has been really good, but I think anybody that, watches Connor McDavid on a regular basis, you can say what are you going to do to, minimize Connor McDavid? There's only so much you can do. True. There's only so much you can do. I do know for the Islanders, one thing that will be a focus is kind of getting back to fundamentals. Patrick Waugh was clear the last game. Wasn't so much of a defensive structure thing that he didn't like. It was more the fundamentals of how he wants this team to play, and the responsibility with the puck, that I think they're going to see an emphasis on that here in Edmonton.
Shannon Hogan with her boots with the fur in her.
The whole club is looking at her.
She gets it. Thanks for the time, Shannon. Really appreciate it. Have a great broadcast tonight.
Anytime. Have a good game.
She's fantastic. I think she's just a great, ball of energy and really gets it. So that was Shannon Hogan, Belsey.
Oh, she was absolutely spot on with the song.
Yeah, she knew that's from our
era. Nailed that. Nice work. Hit the floor. Next thing you know.
Shorty got low. Yeah. I don't want to say with
and everybody's just blowing out their knees because they're trying to get low.
Those were the days, kids. Those were the days.
This is why Daddy's got knee issues now.
He was dancing. Daddy was a dancer. Yeah. Welcome, Belsey. Welcome to the program. I know traffic was traffic can be,
very interesting.
And then you were coaching.
No, the traffic was really interesting.
It was the traffic that got you? Okay.
No, it started with the coaching.
You
And then the traffic was really good too.
All right. Well, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
You look very sharp.
Thank you.
And that was Shannon Hogan giving us the scoop on the Islanders. And you were telling me, Matthew Darche,
Darche,
he knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. He's been, I got the opportunity to play with Darche in the Montreal organization for for 1 year. But you could see kind of then, like, just the way that he presented himself, the way that he thought about the game, the way he composed himself. Like, you just thought, okay, like, he's either going to get into coaching or he's going to get into management.
Right.
And obviously he followed Julien Brisebois, who happened to be in Montreal those same years as well. They just had a great chemistry. They learned from each other, or Darcy was learning from him. And obviously he's gone on to do some pretty good things, because in 1 year, I don't want to say he's completely revamped the Islanders, but like, they look like a completely different team.
The results are there. I mean, I know it's tight in the Eastern Conference, but they're sitting second in the Metro. They're 5 points back of Carolina, a point up on the Capitals. They're right there, man. Like, they are a team that seems like they've been let loose from the shackles of one Lou Lamoriello.
Yes, the defensive trap style hockey, when we used to chirp Boychuk about being like, hey, this is a snore bowl anytime they decided to play. They don't play that way anymore. They play up tempo, they play in your face, and it's fun hockey.
Yes, I get it. Johnny was tripping you earlier today, by the way.
Johnny was?
Yes, he was down at the rink.
God.
And he heard you bailed on the alumni skate, and he was not very impressed.
He knows my number.
As were guys like Grant McNeil, Ryan Bass, Doug Hicks was out today.
Were they all chirping too?
Yeah, they were curious where you were.
They want the smoke. That's
Paxton Schultz, Schulte. He was wondering what the heck you were doing. They were wondering. Gorms wanted to know.
Well, guys, if you're listening, I was coaching.
I
coached 2 games today.
You're a popular guy, Belzy.
So
here we are. Guy. Yes. All right. Before we dive into Game Changers, let's get your game day odds check, brought to you by Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta, safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. All right. Your money line for tonight: the Oilers at -169, the Isles at +144, the over-under set at 6.5, the overs at -118, the under right now set at -112. Of course, when you play over at Play Alberta or anywhere, use your game sense. All right, Belzy, you ready to get into Game Changers here?
Yeah, this is a fast version of Game Changers.
Why is that?
Well, I happen to do it in traffic.
That's great. You used to cram for tests too?
From time to time.
Okay, let's get the Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1 tonight, Schaefer effect.
Schaefer effect. When you look at this kid play, I don't want to use the word generational, because I think that word is starting to get thrown around a little bit too much, but this kid is exceptional. And coming into the game today, he's got 13 goals, 30 points, and he's dynamic. He's solid on the back end defensively. I mean, he makes effort plays all over the place. This kid's got a super high motor, and that engine that he has is starting to rub off on his teammates, and you can see there's like more life, and he's kind of like galvanized the team, because anytime somebody even remotely goes near him and breathes on him, he's got 4 other guys coming into the party to defend him and to make sure that he's comfortable, because he is such a dynamic player. And so the Schaefer effect is having a great it's affecting the Islanders in a positive way. We just talked about how they're getting away from that boring trap style hockey, Lamoriello style hockey. Well, now it's upbeat, it's fast paced, and it's skilled hockey. And you look at Schaefer, and he's one of the catalysts that brings that, along with Barzal.
All right, the Schaefer effect. You want to jump in there, Benny?
I'm just excited to see him play, because he's so dynamic. And I like what you said there, Belzy, about we throw out people throw out generational a little too often. I think they were talking this way about Gavin McKenna, and then now there's this huge cry out after his World Junior performance. Oh, he's not a generational talent. Well, you're throwing the name at him probably a little too early. But he has a chance to be, man. Like I genuinely think he does. I think this kid could be Cale Makar-esque level defenseman. He is that good. He has shocked me to what he's been able to do as an 18-year-old. I'm excited to see what he does at Rogers Place.
Yeah.
It's wild how well he's adapted to the National Hockey League and how he's excelled, which is phenomenal. What does he have? 30 points in 43 games?
The stats, 46.
46 games, yeah. That's insane. That's fantastic. So Schaefer effect, point number 1 on Game Changers. Point number 2, special teams discrepancy. One of the biggest discrepancies right now is when you look at the power play. The Edmonton Oilers right now, they're clipping along at 33.8%, which is a very high number. And then, you look at the Islanders and they're at 15.2%. Awful. Worst.
And that is awful. And it's awful given thinking about how Schaefer's on that power play and Barzell's on that power play and Anders Lee's on that power play. They've got some good players, and clearly it's not translating whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. The one thing that holds them in games is their penalty kill. It's 81.4%. But the Oilers have an 80% PK as well.
They've snuck up. They're up to 12th Edmonton.
Exactly.
Very surprising. I think that's the highest point they've gotten to this year. I think the highest prior to that was 13th overall in the NHL. And I'm a little bit surprised that they've done this well on the PK. Has there been what can we attribute it to?
Well, I think guys are in shooting lanes a little bit more. They're acknowledging that the difference in the way that they used to force versus where they are now. It's a little bit more patient. They're taking away seams. They're paying attention to the middle. Because remember last year, there's lots of times where, teams would just seam this team to death.
It opened up a lot.
All the time. Yeah. It was seam pass in the back of your net. And so now they're starting to take that away. They're in lanes. They're doing a better job of making themselves big, and they're allowing teams to pass it on the outside as opposed to always through them.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I want to say Doug Hicks told a great story today. We got this text that came in here from James. Says Schaefer's only 6 goals back of the most scored by an 18-year-old blue liner ever in the NHL. He is generational, more so than Bedard, because there's a conversation happening in the nasty chat.
Yeah, I saw that. Did anybody call Bedard generational?
I think people have called him generational, and then Celebrini generational, and then somebody added the Bill Zito said when they signed Kachuk in Florida, they called him generational.
Yeah, it does get passed around a lot.
Feels like we use it a lot. Yes, I think that's just a generality, and I'm with you on that. But this story that Doug Hicks told, he played in Chicago the last year Bobby Orr played. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, Bobby only played 10 games that year, and he had to play with me sometimes. And I think he said, I can't play with this guy. I'm done. Enough of this. enough of this. And he said he was done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Hicksy's great. He's got amazing stories. He got offered from the Indianapolis Racers a 10-year, $1 million deal. And his dad said, no, you stay in the NHL. He was drafted 6th overall by the North Stars.
I mean, was he wrong?
No, he was right.
Yeah.
His dad told him that league wouldn't last.
10 years, $1 million. No, thank you.
But that was mid-70s, right?
No, thank you.
Well,
at that time, it was a lot of money.
Yeah. It's not like jumping to live these days. You consider the PGA. And now guys are going back like Koepka.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that was point number 2. Special teams discrepancy. Point number 3, Belsey, where are we going on this one?
Goaltenders. Ingram's in the net. 3-headed monster. There's been a lot of conversation, especially here in Edmonton, about what are they going to do with the goaltenders. Yeah. Well, you're giving the game right now to Ingram to see what it's like. And, he's got up until Sunday. See what happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of the window based on his emergency call-ups status. And so, can he put another good game together? Does the game that he can put together, if it's a good game, does that now maybe change the conversation behind closed doors? Because we don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, there's tons of speculation. We've heard that they might send him down because there's that window to do it without losing him.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is... Today they said, or Chris Knobloch said, we're not sure what we're going to do. Do you buy that at all?
I think that it's similar to Howard in the sense that these guys have forced their way up. Ingram by circumstance with the Jari injury, but since he's been up here, he's been really good. He's provided solid goaltending. He's calm in the net. He's not flying all around. Like, he makes the saves that he's supposed to. So since he's been up, I think he's forced their hand in saying, well, I think we need to give you an extended stay. So I could see, maybe they don't know what they're doing. I think they have an idea, because at the end of the day, you want to keep all 3 goaltenders.
Yes.
Is it ideal to keep all 3 goaltenders in the NHL at one time? I don't personally think so. I personally think that Ingram is going to go down because it's the easiest transaction to make.
To keep all 3 guys.
To keep all 3 guys, and then you have a good, solid depth within your organization, which is what most people want. That's what I think is going to personally happen. That's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, Ingram's done a fantastic job since he's been up here. And I do think he's muddied the water, so to speak.
Good problem to have.
Yep.
Kelvin says Ingram is going down. Knobber is the worst fibber. He knows, says Chief Andy. He is not a good fibber. Betty Thomson, what do you got?
I mean, just on this topic, like we were saying earlier, I don't understand how you don't send him down. Like and running 3 goalies sucks, and we talked about it, but it would just be such a waste of an asset if you were to just go and he sticks around through the break. Eventually, they're going to have to make the decision. Like whether you like it or not, no matter who it is, they're going to have to make one. And my prediction is, I think whoever you send down is going to get claimed. There is a want for goalies in this league, and if it's Calvin Pickard, then Calvin he's played in Stanley Cup Finals games, right? He's played in Connor Ingram, who hasn't really played a whole lot, but as of late has been pretty damn good, and he's been an all-star previously in his career. So you're gonna have to make a decision. To me, I think it's smart to see that he gets sent down before Sunday. Let him play over the break. And then after the break, you can make your decision. I'd imagine it's calling him up and probably losing Cal Pickard.
We'll see what happens. You can have your say. Text us 780-218-9999. Let's go to Hampton. Steve says, my Oilers PTSD is kicking in based on those power play and PK stats Bellsy was throwing off. I'm now expecting the Islanders to score a power play goal tonight. 32nd ranked PP was, what is it, 15.2%?
Yeah.
It was not great.
15.2, yeah.
RBM chiming in says, to me, it's a no-brainer to send Ingram down. He 100% deserves to be up in the NHL right now, but that's not the point of sending him down. The point is making sure you're keeping all 3 goaltenders that clearly can play at the NHL level. I don't care if it's unpopular. It's smart asset management, plain and simple.
You do not give up assets for free, and now you've got a situation where you've been looking for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
You've got goalies everywhere. You've got Jari as your de facto number 1. You got Pickard or Ingram as who's 1B, 2, whatever that looks like.
Whatever you want to call it.
But you've got 3 goaltenders that can all play. That's a good problem to have. And you don't just, because you feel that Ingram is the guy, you don't just get rid of Pickard and send him down. Because if he gets picked off of waivers, well, now you're at 2. What happens if Jari is not 100%?
Matt Tompkins
doesn't come up.
Connor Unger
with Ingram.
Yeah, Connor Unger was 5-0. He's 5-0.
That's not a good situation. So asset management, and I agree with that text. Asset management says, Ingram, you're going to go down because you can clear through waivers, and we're not going to risk losing you.
Do you think it would upset him?
Does it matter?
No, ultimately, but
there's been a lot of guys that got sent down that have been pissed off. Guess what? You go down and you deal with what you have to, and then when you get the call, you get the call.
But I just think, like, for him, though, he's got to know that he's going to come back. I can't imagine the Oilers going and running, like, Calvin Pickard as their main backup with Connor Ingram in the minors. I just feel like that's wrong. Jari he had a decent game against Nashville, but like Connor Ingram has shown a solid upside to her. Like Reed's predicted that he thinks he's going to start game 1 of the playoffs. I mean, obviously it's down the line, but like that. There's a world where that could be the case, and
I'm not saying no to that. I just love Greed going bold, baby.
Yeah, but it genuinely it could happen, and to think that he would be playing in the AHL as your third goalie on the call, it's pretty funny, and it's a very weird and interesting situation that they have themselves in. But it gives us a lot to talk about, so it's pretty good.
Well, Ingram's situation coming into the season was unique.
Yeah.
Going through the player assistance program, and then, the Utah, trades him here after putting him on waivers. They trade him here, and then they eat some of his salary, and he has no training camp. And then the Oilers put him in Bakersfield. They play him. The numbers aren't that great. They call him up out of need. He gets a look up here. Looks like a good NHL goalie again, and now you have this three-headed goalie monster temporarily or for a short time, and we'll see where it goes. But it is interesting how it's all played out. I don't know what happens. And the other thing is, how's Tristan Jarry going to hold up?
Yep.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Let's see if we have a couple more texts. Captain Kirk says, Captain Kirk here, glad Curtis is back in, and he put up a picture of Laser's old Oil Kings third jersey. Laser. Very nice. Yeah, I caught up with Laser. But I don't know if you caught it. Were you listening on your way in?
No.
Okay, there was a big scrum from McDavid, and Laser sits one or two over from Connor. He comes up to me. He's like, who does this guy think he is? And I was like, kid still got it. Yep. Kid still got it. Conroe, Texas says, at this point, Ingram seems like a number one for a solid play. Glad to see the kid line back together. I'm going to call it 2 goals tonight from that line. And after that, the rest, they say, will be history. And then, there's a lot of good texts that had come in, and a lot of good conversation in the nasty chat as well. Okay, Benny, what do you think happens tonight before we wind things down?
I think they win. I think the Oilers win. I think they've played pretty solid hockey outside of the little lull right after the break. It seems like they've kind of gotten past that. The Nashville game wasn't as bad as I think some people think it was. It was not their best game, but not that bad. So I think they come home. They beat a Islanders team tonight that had a crazy game over in Winnipeg, but I think they get to Sorokin, and for me, the Texter had it, that third line, it's right there. I think it's right there. It's waiting for that first kind of breakout game to be like, okay, there you go. There's some production from that line. They've had some good looks. It just hasn't gone in for them. I'm with them. I think it goes in for them tonight.
Belsey?
Yeah, I think the Oilers are going to win as well. Should be a better effort than we saw in Nashville. And I do agree with you, Benny. It's not as bad as we thought it was, but at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and you got to get back into the win column. So what better way to do it than on home ice?
I like that. I'll just say this. I'm not going to predict the winner. I'm going to say the Islanders are a better team, and they're going to force the Oilers to have to play a better game. And when the Oilers are on their game, they're pretty damn good, and we could see them win if the Islanders kind of poke the bear and wake the Oilers up. So that's how I look at it. Connor Ingram in goal versus Ilya Sorokin. We're going to see Matthew Schaefer on Edmonton Ice for the first time. Very intrigued to watch him work his magic from the Islanders blue line. Big thank you to Shannon Hogan from MSG Networks, Islanders Rinkside reporter and host. She's so good. It was a lot of fun. A huge thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who listened. We love you. We appreciate you. For Belsey and Benny, I'm Tommy saying enjoy the Oilers and Islanders. We will see you on the postgame show. Ciao for now.